Welcome to another installment of Apocalypse, and it is the first time clashing our Apocalypse games Dark Eldar against Imperial Guard. 5,000 points aside. We're playing on quite a dense table here, just 6x4, but we're going to witness a Dark Eldar raid on a scale that we have never seen before. So on the outskirts of an Imperial city here, first line of defence made up of bunkers, tank traps, boxes and barrels, and then an outer defence line here of sandbags and Aegis defence line run across here, and then bombed out zone out here. But it'll be from this direction that the Dark Eldar will launch their raid. They'll come on from here and swoop in across the table. The Imperial Guard will try and resist them whilst protecting a number of key characters. It's snatch and grab. The aim is to capture a number of important characters. So the aim of the game is snatch and grab here. We're going to play a scenario where the Dark Eldar have to capture a number of Imperial Guard characters. Not kill them, they have to capture them, so you're going to have to reach in combat. These characters will be located at different areas across the table. Dark Eldar have got to search and find them and then retrieve them and hold on to them for the game. If they do that, then they'll win. If the Imperial Guard hold on to these characters, then they will win. So it's a high pressure game, should be nice and quick, good pace, and we're looking forward to see the Dark Eldar turn up in one epic raid. Will the Imperial Guard be able to resist them? We'll have to see. Welcome to this 5,000 point Apocalypse game, Dark Eldar against Imperial Guard. So my Dark Eldar list is here. Going to run through that first of all, up to 2,000 points. Void Raven Bomber here, air support. Razor Wing Jet Fighter with 4 monocyve missiles, Dark Lancers. 1 Talos with Twin Link Splinter Cannons and Chain Flails. Then 2 Raiders here, each of them with 10 Witches with Hecatrix, Haywire Grenades and Agonizer for each of them. 1 Ravager with 3 Dark Lances, 10 Hellions with Heliarch and Agonizer, 9 Reavers with 3 Cluster Caltrops, 1 Arena Champion, and then the Incubi hunting packs here. They're in Venoms with extra Splinter Cannon. There's 1 unit of 4, and they're joined by second in command with Agonizer, with a Shadow Field, Haywire Grenades, and then the Army Commander armed the same, but he's with 5 Incubi. So that's 2,000 points for the Dark Eldar there. And then the other 3,000 points here has been brought along by Mac Saxby, and if you recognise the painting style here, these have been done on commission, most of them. So that's making up the other 3,000 points. It's good to have them down. So there'll be a nice harmony between the forces. I don't know if that's the right word to use for Dark Eldar, but Matt's going to run through what he's got here. He's making up 3,000 points in this game.
Okay, what I've got here is we've got 8 Incubi. I've got a Clavex in the unit. They're all in a Raider. The Raider's got 9 shields. And then we're going to do 10 Carbonite Warriors with a Splinter Cannon and the leader in the squad. They're all in a Raider as well, with a Dark Lance, and that's got Splinter Axe. And we've got 8 Mandrakes, no boss for them, they're just as they are. And then for my first HQ choice, I've gone for a standard Archon. He's got a Webway Portal and Haywire Grenades, and he's also got the Animus Vitae. Then I've got 3 Medusa. They're in a Venom. I don't think I'll keep them in the Venom, but that's them for there. I've got 5 Scourge. They're armed with 4 Haywire Blasters. My second Archon, which is the guy that's in charge, he's got a Power Weapon, Haywire Grenades, Shadow Field, and I think that's it for him. Okay, here I've got 10 Witches with a Hecatrix. She's armed with a Power Weapon and a Haywire Grenade. They're in a Raider with Dark Lance and Night Shields. Unit of 10 Cobblite Warriors again, with a leader, a Splinter Cannon in a Raider with Dark Lance and Splinter Axe. I've got 5 Trueborn. They're armed with 4 blasters. They are in a Venom with the extra cannon. 2 separate Venoms. They're armed with cannons, both of them. That's just stock. And then I've got 2 Ravagers. Both Ravagers are armed with 3 Dark Lances. Another empty Venom with an extra cannon. And then I've got 8 Grotesques. They are just as they are. Then we've got 9 Reaver Jet Bikes with 3 Cluster Caltrops, a Champion with a Power Weapon. 2 Razor Wings, both armed with Dark Lances. And then finally Void Raven Bomber, just as it comes.
Right, so that's the army. The 2 armies combined together makes 5,000 points. Nice to see a bit of air power coming in as well. James has none, so Dark Eldar will rule the skies here. So there's the force. Nice to see it put together. And we'll see how well we can execute this Dark Eldar raid. Right, so this is James's 5,000 point list, a similar army that took on the Tau at the Fortress of Telemar. James is going to run through what he's got. It's quite an epic army here.
Right, this is my 5,000 points Imperial Guard army. I have my reserve platoon, which consists of a commander with a plasma pistol, commissar with a plasma pistol. I have a platoon banner, Voxcaster, flamethrower, and a medic in his platoon command. I have 3 squads of infantry, each equipped with a grenade launcher and Voxcaster. Dedicated transport for the platoon command is a Chimera, 65 points, with multi-laser, hull-mounted heavy bolter. I have 3 heavy weapons squads. First squad is equipped with auto cannons, second squad is equipped with las cannons, and the third squad is equipped with mortars. Right, this is my second platoon. I have a commissar equipped with a power sword, bolt pistol, a commander with a close combat weapon, las pistol. Exactly the same combination with the platoon infantry wise, but I have, with the heavy weapons squads, I have heavy bolters and missile launchers, and I have special weapons teams. I have a melter gun team and a flamethrower team.
2 separate units.
2 separate units, yeah. I have 3 Hellhounds with the Apocalypse formation as well, so you can release the Hellstorm template. First platoon, I have a Commissar equipped with a Power Fist, Commander equipped with a Las Pistol and Power Sword, and I have exactly the same combination with the infantry again. I have a Lord Commissar, and he's got 50 conscripts to command. I'm a Macarius Vanquisher, equipped with a Vanquisher cannon. It's twin link.
Sit back, you got flipped upside down last time.
Well, it didn't actually, it was against the tower, but it survived. Yeah. And I have Lord General Creed this time. There's a few people that commented saying, bring Creed back into the battle. So I did that as a request, so that Creed is on the battlefield. And I have Sergeant Kell as well. And I also have Commissar Yarrick as well. I have 4 Ogrins, 1 is a Bonehead. I have 9 Rattlings. I have a company command, and he's equipped with a bolt pistol, company banner, a medic, Voxcaster and a heavy flamer. And he has a dedicated transport, which is a Chimera with hull mounted heavy flamer and multi-laser for the Chimera again. Platoon command, Chimera dedicated transport, is equipped with a dozer blade, hull mounted heavy flamer and multi-laser. I have an Imperial Guard Lehman Russ tank company. I have the command tank, which is here, ballistic skill 4. I also paid for each squad to have the tank commander special rule, so he can issue orders to the squads. First Lehman Russ squadron is equipped with dozer blades, hull mounted las cannon and sponson heavy bolters and the battle cannons. Second Lehman Russ squadron is equipped with 3 demolisher cannons. 1 Lehman Russ is equipped with plasma sponsons and got sponson heavy bolters, sponson multi-melters. Third squadron is equipped with 2 Punisher Gatling guns. I have an Exterminator autocannon, and each is equipped with hull mounted las cannons and sponson heavy bolters. I have the Stormlord equipped with the Vulcan Mega Bolter, and I've paid the extra 50 points for the sponson las cannons and twin link heavy bolters. I have a Hellhammer equipped with the Hellhammer cannon, so it's quite useful because you've got a lot of jinking units. So it's strength 10, AP 1, massive blast, ignores cover saves, and it's a primary weapon as well. So there you go.
Right, so there's James's force there. Very, very impressive as usual with the Imperial Guard. Very intimidating. The Dark Eldar have somehow got to try and capture these characters here and at the same time try and deal with this lot. So high pressure game. The Dark Eldar are going to need to execute a very precise and deadly raid. Otherwise the Imperial Guard could easily blow them away with that much devastating firepower on the table. So we're going to go on to deployment now for these 2 forces. Right, so it's a customised scenario here. So Dark Eldar will be coming on from this edge. This is where the raid will come on. It's a lightning raid, a surprise attack. You can imagine the Imperial Guard line all across, running across this sector, but it's at this point that Dark Eldar have selected and to make their attack. And the reason behind that is there are a number of Imperial characters that they are going to try and capture. So the game will hinge on whether these characters can be captured or not. So Dark Eldar have to take on the Imperial Guard, but at the same time keep that objective in view. Those characters are going to be placed randomly within James's deployment zone. But deployment for his forces here is occupying the fire base here. There's a squad just on top. Behind them, a missile launcher squad. They've got flak missiles, by the way, so a bit of air cover. Ratlings anchoring the higher part of the building here and the lower level. Squad just down here with the boxes and barrels. One squad manning the sandbag defence, 2 chimeras just here. Then at the back here in the higher part as we go into the depths of the city, there is a squad just there, and then autocannon team anchoring this end. Stormlord in the gap just there, a view up the entranceway there. 1 chimera at the back. Las cannon team at the very top, clear view across the table. Then guard squads on the 2nd and 3rd level. And then coming around onto the other side, James has put the conscript squad right at the front with the Lord Commissar with them. Squad behind, Chimera. And then inside the bunker here, heavy bolter teams there. Then just at the back here, it's the nerve centre for this Imperial Guard force. Yarrick has joined the Ogryns on the 2nd level. Mortar team just there, and then Creed just tucked in there. Then one more Imperial Guard squad just anchoring the extreme left. Macarius Vanquisher just here. And then the Hellhammer just anchoring this side. So there's quite a bit of empty space. James just being cautious here. He's played against Dark Eldar before, but not on this scale. And then in reserve, the tank company is going to come on, try and fit on the table. And then the Hellhounds will be turning up from reserve as well. Right, deep striking with the Scourges here. Matt will deep strike his as well, and then the Mandrakes will be out flanking. So just a couple of units there. The rest will be pouring on from reserve. A couple more deep strikers here. The Archon here will deep strike with this unit. That'll be interesting. And then this Archon will deep strike with the Medusas there. Right, so the game will pivot around these 3 characters. 1 Astropath, 1 Master of Ordnance, and 1 Officer of the Fleet. It's around these 3 characters that the game will hinge. They're going to be distributed around James's deployment zone. The Dark Eldar will seek after them, try and find them, locate them, capture them, and hold on to them. If they do that, then they will secure victory. If James is able to hold on to these, then the Guard will succeed in defending these characters. We have no idea why the Dark Eldar are after them, but they have their reasons, perhaps to extract information from them, perhaps. Some higher purpose, no doubt. Right, so we'll place these on the table now. James's force is deployed, so it'll be interesting to see where these end up. Right, so the characters have been placed. Master of Ordnance just here, right at the very back. So he's quite safe. Unlikely we're going to reach him. Astropath here is just standing under the light. There, sort of in the middle of the table, so there's a chance there for the Dark Eldar. But Officer of the Fleet is here. He's right at the very front line inspecting the troops, not knowing that a Dark Eldar raid is about to turn up. So he is in danger. James will get to move these, get them to join units when it comes to his movement. But that's the setup. That's where the 3 characters are. Dark Eldar are going to have to plan now how best to try and capture each of these. Right, so that's just a zoomed out view for you there. Astropath here. And then Master of Ordnance there, tucked at the back, he's safe. And then the Officer of the Fleet just there. So we're ready to start. Turn 1 will be Dark Eldar airstrike only. Nothing else will come on. Right, so we're going to go on to the first turn of the game. It's Dark Eldar turn 1, and it'll be air cover only coming in. That's the first beginnings of this raid. There'll be a strike from the skies. Right, so turn 1 for the Dark Eldar, just the air cover coming on. Look at that formation of fighters hunting targets. Observing from the sky, they can see the characters, at least one of them, and they're going to try and clear a path for the ground forces as they come in. So that's movement done. Matt's brought on his 3 here, Void Raven in the centre, my Void Raven just there as well. Looks like we're going to try and loosen up one of the super heavies, and then my Razor Wing just here. So we're going to go on to shooting now. For the Dark Eldar on turn 1. We'll see how effective this air strike can be. Right, so we're going to try and strike the Super Heavy. Is that what your Void Raven's after? Yeah, I'll go after him as well. Alright, so 2 Void Ravens. Going to try and do some damage on the Super Heavy. So we're on freeze to hit. We'll let Matt roll up here. 3+. He's got 2 hits. I'll roll mine. I've got 2 hits. Same result as well. We're battle buddies. So strength 9 lance. Freeze to glance. 6 and a 4. See if I can get a 6 and a 4. Oh, 4 and a 1. That's a shame. Right, so 3 penetrating hits at strength 9 lance. I'll roll up my result here. A 6 would be good. A 3 becomes a 4. And then for Matt, he's got a 5 and a 2 becomes a 6 and a 3. Right, so that's 3 hull points there. It's a start. How many hull points does it have?
It has 6 left.
It has 6 left, so 1/3 kill. Okay. Right, it's just doing the shooting here. Mono-scythe missiles coming in from the Razor Wing. 1 landing here. James went to ground, lost 2. And then 1 scattered wildly onto the conscripts. 2 casualties lost. James went to ground behind the Aegis defense line. So Imperial Guard ducking here as the missiles and lance fire comes screaming in. Not too much damage done, but definitely keeping the heads down of these guardsmen here. And then 3 hull points we saw dealt out on the Super Heavy, and then mono-scythe missile fire and lance fire coming in here. 2 missile teams killed, and just 1 guardsman killed there. So Dark Eldar, intimidating presence, but not too much damage done. That marks the end of turn 1. For them, so we're going to go on to Imperial Guard turn 1, and the whole focus will be trying to deal with this airstrike. So the raid has officially commenced. Dark Eldar striking first. We'll go on to Imperial Guard turn 1. Right, so movement for the Imperial Guard, not too much, just adjusting, really just awaiting the Dark Eldar ground forces to arrive. James moving head here with the Super Heavy, and then Master of the Ordnance has joined this guard squad on the 2nd level, so he's safe. Astropath has joined the Mortar team, so he's quite safe. Then the Officer of the Fleet here has moved back, joining the squad just behind the boxes and barrels. He's just here. So sensing there could be trouble, they've just began their move to try and hide as best as they can. It's just all a priority will just be to avoid. The missile squad here has actually fallen back there as well. They bust them around the previous turn. So that's movement done. Come here around here, just shifting across 6 inches, pivoting around and face straight ahead, and that's pretty much it. We're going to go on to shooting now. See how effective the Imperial Guard can do at trying to bring down at least some of these flyers. Right, so shooting for the Imperial Guard on turn 1. A lot of jinking going on with the flyers, but all 5 have survived. Most damage on the lead Void Raven, 2 hull points there and a 4 result, and then 1 hull point here on this Razor Wing. The other 3 Void Raven here and 2 Razor Wings are untouched. So Dark Eldar happy to keep those alive. That marks the end of turn 1. There's no assaults, obviously, so we're going to go on to the second turn of the game. You can expect the main part of this Dark Eldar raid to turn up, and the game will really begin to liven up. But it's been enjoyable having an early airstrike. Nice aspect to the game here. It's just made the scenario just something special. So we're going to go on to turn 2 for the Dark Eldar. Right, so turn 2 for the Dark Eldar, and the raid has well and truly got underway here. So my Dark Eldar on the left-hand side here, mostly. The 2 Venoms, the Ink being side are just there. 2 Raiders, Ravager just here. Reavers moving up 12. Talos at the back, and then one of Matt's Raiders has joined our attack here as well. Reavers here for Matt moving up. Ravager here and here, Venom and their squad inside, 2 Raiders and their squads, 3 Venoms here, another Venom, and then a Raider there. There it is, coming on. Quite an impressive display there, and they're going to move up further. There's no doubt they're going to push up further ahead and go flat out. So Archon, he's the army commander. His Mandrake squad have just turned up here using the Webway portal, and then Webway portal again with the other commander and the Grotesques. So Imperial Guard have had these Dark Eldar turn up right in amongst them. No doubt carnage will follow. Then my Scourges here have tried to land down here. They've ended up on top of the bunker. And then Matt's Scourges deep striking down here. They'll be able to get flanking shot with haywire weapons on the side of the Stormlord. And then Matt's Mandrakes have flanked, moving up and around behind. So terror grips the Imperial Guard line, as not only do they see a huge Dark Eldar force heading towards them, but various Dark Eldar units turning up to begin harassing the battle line as well. So we're going to go on to shooting phase now for the Dark Eldar on turn 2. All the flyers have left. That formation's still alive, and it's flown off table to come back again next turn. So we're going to go on to Dark Eldar shooting now, turn 2. Right, so shooting for the Dark Eldar on turn 2. There's quite a lot going on, and as you can see, quite a lot of movement here as well, moving flat out the different vehicles. No damage here from the Scourges at all. They were trying to fire at the rear end of the Chimera there. 2 hull points dealt out though by this unit of Scourges with the haywire blasters, so just 4 hull points remaining on the Stormlord here. It's taken 5, so that's quite significant there. Reavers moving up in this direction, 5 inches moved up by the Talos. This squad moving up here in the Venom. And then all of my vehicles here have moved up full speed, so no shooting from them, just getting up as quick as possible up the table. Then coming around here, Matt has held some units back to provide fire support, firing ahead, and the rest bursting through here. Just spreading out the Grotesques at deep strike, flamer shots coming from the Archon and his unit, killing some of the conscripts. Then more casualties caused by poisoned fire coming through. These 3 Raiders, or 2 Raiders here, and a Ravager moving up quick as well, and then the Reavers smashing through the gap that has been created. James's unit split in half here. There's 5 conscripts left, a pile of bodies in the middle, and then the rest of the squad just here. So they've been, we've never seen that kind of situation before. A unit's been cut in half so effectively. And then coming around here, 1 las cannon team was killed by fire from the flanking Mandrake. So that's it for the Dark Eldar. Pretty good. I wouldn't say devastating, but they're beginning to cause trouble. And as far as manoeuvring is concerned, they're almost, well, they are breaking at the halfway point across the tables. Imperial Guard turn 2 will be crucial. What kind of effect will they have on the advancing Dark Eldar? We will have to see. But this raid is well and truly underway. You can see these ships cruising across the table. It's a glorious sight to behold. Right, it's just on movement now for the Imperial Guard on turn 2. It'll be a crucial turn for them. James has the tank company to arrive. That may arrive just in the nick of time. But how effective their shooting is will determine how strong an assault we can make on Dark Eldar turn 3. We'll have to see. No air cover to come for the Imperial Guard. They'll be relying entirely on their ground forces to try and blunt this attack as best as they can. Dark Eldar making best progress here. And that's deliberate. It's on this side. That's where the two characters are. The astropath just there. And then the Master of Ordnance just tucked away in that building where the Mandrakes are trying to assault. And then just here with the Officer of the Fleet, who's now just tucked down here. He is pretty close to this Dark Eldar raid. They've seen him, no doubt. They can see him from the raiders as they move up. Will they be able to reach him and that squad? We'll have to see. There's a fair chance they could. No doubt he's going to be running in this direction. We'll see what happens. Going into movement now for Imperial Guard on turn 2. Not sure if James is panicking yet. I think he has confidence. So long as his super heavies are alive, I think they'll have some confidence. One of them's over half dead though, so pressure is beginning to mount, but not too bad. Right, so movement for the Imperial Guard on turn 2. Conscripts trying to link together again as best as they can. The rules say you've got to just try and move as close together as you can. That's as far as they can reach. Imagine those 5 guys screaming, where should they go? Lord Combazar trying to get them to move through the Dark Eldar. Units there. Unit holding its ground here. Chimera holding ground. 1 tank squadron turning up on this road here. James pushing out with his super heavy tank. If the Hellhammer lining up to shoot in this direction. Heavy bolter team's pinned. Mortar team holding ground. Macarius Vanquisher holding ground. And the squads here holding ground. Yeah, Master of Ordnance is here. So he's staring straight at the mandrakes there. There is a Dark Eldar unit close by. Then coming around in this direction. This side of the table has actually been run by second in command Phil Marshall's turned up to assist James in the game, needs help, and Phil has moved up the Chimera here and squad. That squad's still manning the barricades, they're not going to fall back, that's good. We're just looking to see where the officer of the fleet has gone. He has moved back with the squad, just slinking away, see if they've gone around. Yeah, just inside there. Then in the firebase here, Ratling's holding position, guard squad have turned around to deal with the scourges. Chimera holding position, a second squadron has turned over Russes to assist as best as they can. Missile squad falling back out of the way, clearing the road for the tanks coming on. And then here squad's holding position as well, so not too much manoeuvring from the guard really. They're just happy to sit and fire all the weapons at the best capacity that they can. Going to go on to shooting now for the Imperial Guard on turn 2. A crucial turn for them as far as shooting is concerned. We'll see how well the Dark Eldar can weather the storm. Right, so we're going to do a bit of shooting here. James is going to try and fire the Hellhammer Cannon. 36-inch range there. Strength 10 is going to ignore cover. We're just hoping that James doesn't roll a scatter. Back onto his men.
Technically a heavy Nova cannon.
Okay. Roll it up. Whoa, it's a little bit wild. 6 inches across. We'll figure this out. It looks like my Reavers might get clipped here. Nasty. It's just a 7-inch blast. Killed 1 Reaver so far, and then 1 Raider. No jink is well, you can jink, but it's not going to make a difference. You can ignore it. And James is going to roll up here. Strength 10. It's auto armor penetration. So roll is it AP 1 plus 3 on the result. 1 dice. 4 becomes a 7. The Raider's been blown to pieces, and first blood as well. Yeah, we'll grant that in this game. Right, so the shot scattered here and landed there. We've got away with that quite lightly. It could have been a whole lot worse. So that's the big gun firing. 1 Raider destroyed. 5 of the Dark Eldar Carbonite Warriors killed in the blast as well. Continue on the rest of the shooting now on turn 2. It's starting well here. Demolisher cannon from the hull hit the Ravager here. We didn't jink. And James penetrated and got a 5 on the result, which became a 7. Got a 6 actually, became an 8. So the Ravager has been blown apart as well. Dark Eldar vehicles being exploding in spectacular fashion at the moment. How many more will fall this turn? We'll have to see. Right, so shooting here on turn 2. It's pretty effective on this side of the table. 1 Scourge brought down. Then this squadron firing ahead. And it has, along with a load of other firing, has caused a lot of damage. So Venom destroyed here. Incubi getting out, 1 of them killed. 2 Incubi killed here as they got out of this transport, wrecked. That's fire from the Flamer and multi-laser, and heavy Flamer from the guy in the back as well, 1 of the passengers firing through. Causing damage on these light vehicles, infantry squad firing ahead as well. Supporting fire coming through from the Hellhammer tank, and other heavy weapons firing down. Ravager here being wrecked, which is getting out there all right. Ravager here though destroyed, blown to pieces. We saw that earlier on. And then the Raider here blown to pieces as well, and then the occupants being shot at and wiped out as well. So devastating impact on this side of the table. A lot of Imperial Guard firepower converging on this area from the units here and vehicles at the back. Firing here from the squad inside has reduced the squad just down to 1 member of the squad left. So Dark Eldar raid has made progress, but has been battered on the way in. There's no doubt about that. Every single transport vehicle destroyed in this front line. An impressive display. I think one of the most impressive displays of the Imperial Guard. Very, very good indeed. These Dark Eldar transports not lasting very long indeed, that's for sure. Oh dear. Right, so rest of the shooting here. Little rattlings firing down have brought down one of the grotesques. Pain they are, little nasty little unit. Okay, so tank squadron here fired through, causing a fair bit of damage there on the Reavers. This raider's alive at one whole point on that. And then conscripts firing. The commander, the overall commander there has lost his Medusa bodyguard protection, but he's still intact. I think Matt's come off a lot more lightly on this side of the table. It's my blues over there that have been hammered the most. So that's pretty much all the shooting done. There's no charges. Imperial Guard just unloading with every shot they can. We're going to go on to Dark Eldar turn 3. The air support will return, and we'll be glad to see it come back for a second pass. We'll push ahead with the assault here. Matt in a much stronger position. And on the other side, we'll just have to slog it out on foot now. As we push on to turn 3, you'll see how well the Dark Eldar can do. Can they recover? And has their attack been blunted enough so the Imperial Guard can protect those characters? There's places for them at the moment. The officer of the fleet is still just tucked under there. Phil opted to fire, so they've remained stationary. They haven't run. They could be within striking range of some Dark Eldar units. We wish we still had our transports to get that extra 6 inches, but we don't. And then round here, the Astropath is just inside the bunker. He's not attached to any unit. And then down here, the Master of Ordnance is here. A lot of the Mandrakes looks like they've been killed. There's 4 left, though. They may be able to launch an assault to try and capture him in the mini battle in the corner. So we're going to go on to turn 3 now for the Dark Eldar. Right, so we're going to go on to Dark Eldar turn 3. We reckon we have the chance to capture all 3 of these characters in this turn. It's going to be tight. It's going to be a stretch, but we reckon we could do it. The whole game pivots on that. The Dark Eldar have been smashed on this flank. If we capture those and hold them, then we will triumph and the raid will be successful. See what happens on turn 3. Right, so movement for the Dark Eldar on turn 3. A crucial turn. Just dropping back here. Matt has moved the Scourge with the Haywire weapon there. Hellions have turned up. They wanted to land and they've scattered back, but have just about managed to land in the bunker there. We actually need to do dangerous terrain check for 5, 6, 7 of them. So we don't want any ones. There's a 1. Not saved. And feel no pain now. 5+. Yes. So combat drugs kicking in nicely there. Scourges are gone. They've jumped down here, passing their dangerous terrain, and will maybe be able to get the charge in here against the guard squad that is holding the officer of the fleet, which is moving up in this direction. Other witch squad moving up to the sandbags. Incubi squad, one crossing the sandbags, and the other just at the beginning of the sandbags. They're ready to charge the guard units. So Shaman on foot now, slowed right down. Reavers moving up behind, and then air cover turning up. One Razor Wing here, second Razor Wing screaming on here. The two Void Ravens taking the central position there. They're going to fire at the Super Heavy, and then the third Razor Wing just going to bring on some fire support here. Matt moving up at the back here. Ravagers, two of them providing fire support, and then this Raider here with the Carbolite squad geared up for shooting. They're going to provide some fire support, and then four Venoms to provide fire support as well. It's a good idea doing that. And then the lead elements pushing up. One Raider here, one Raider there. Incubi ready to charge against the Conscript. It's going to be a massacre. Witches disembark, ready to charge as well. Archon's here. He's joined the squad. He hasn't. He's going to throw hate grenades on his own. And then the Reavers jumping up and over. And the Grotesque starting to filter through in this direction. One of them's reached the door of the bunker. Then the Mandrake's moving up ready to try and take out the Master of Ordnance there, or to capture him. Not to take him out, I don't want to kill him. I want to capture him and ask him some questions. There's just a couple of house rules here, just the way we're working it out. So if Dark Eldar shoot at a unit that has one of these characters in, for every hit that's scored, if you've got a score of a 6, the character would be hit as well. So it just gives the Dark Eldar incentive to capture in combat and not to take the risk of shooting at a unit that contains that character. Or in a situation with the Dark Eldar wiping out units of shooting, then the character's the last one left standing. So we've given we've set up that rule, and it's working here. It just means the Dark Eldar need to push on and actually get into close combat. It's the safe way to capture each of these characters. So, for example, previous turn the Mandrakes didn't fire at the squad, didn't want to hurt the character that they're after, the Master of Ordnance. So we're going to shooting now. Priority, that Super Heavy in the middle's got to go. A number of other key targets. We'll see how effective the Dark Eldar air power will be. We're going to shooting phase now on turn 3. Right, so shooting here, the two Void Ravens are going to fire at the Stormlord at the back there. So 3+ for me. I've got 1 hit. Matt's got 1 hit. Strength 9. I've penetrated. Matt's not this time. James has got 1 cover save of 4+ to make. Void Ravens have had no effect this turn. The Dark Eldar, not so good. Not so good. Right, so shooting here for the Dark Eldar. It's been desperate shooting going on. Air cover, no damage done from the Void Ravens against the Stormlord. He lives, he's still alive. You can see his upside down bases, a lot of suppressive fire going on here. Monoscythe missiles coming in from that Razor Wing over there, suppressing the entire building. The large blasts cascading down the levels, causing each of the squads to go to ground. Number of casualties, 4 in total being caused, but good cover saves being taken. The Mandrake's firing actually hit the Master of Ordnance, but he survived on a 5+. Thankfully, it's almost killed one of the objectives there by accident. So good shooting from the Razor Wing here. Destroyed the lead Lehman Russ. No damage caused by this Razor Wing. Okay, lance weapon firing through here. 2 hull points on the Chimera. Shooting from the passengers in the Raider, destroying a base from the heavy bolters and pinning them as well. There's a lot of poison fire pouring into the Imperial Guard. Ravager firepower here, 1 hull point on the Hellhammer. Then down here, various haywire grenades being thrown by different units, 2 hull points on the Chimera, and then the jet bike's just moving up and over, getting into position. 1 Guardsman killed down here. That was fire from the Scourges, and then fire from here. 1 wound and then gone to ground. There's also a lot of Imperial Guard ducking away out of the cover, out of the shooting from the various Dark Eldar units. Missed here with the Haywire Blaster against the Stormlords. That's all the shooting done. Going to go on to assaults. There are a number of key assaults. We'll roll these up now, and chances to take on to try and capture at least 2 of the assets here. The Grotesques couldn't get within coherency range to capture the Astropath there, so he's safe this turn, but there's a chance to capture the Officer of the Fleet here, and also in the far corner on the other side the Mandrakes may be able to capture the Master of Ordnance. We're going to assaults now on turn 3. Right, so assaults for the Dark Eldar here. There's quite a few going ahead. Incubi squad here made contact with the front guard squad. The others failed to charge. Both Witches squads have converged on the Chimera of 1 hull point left. And then down here the Scourges have charged into the Imperial Guard just there. Yeah, we lost one going in from Overwatch, and that's it. One Witch was killed here by the flamethrower on top there as well. The passengers firing out. But other than that, we've got assaults going ahead here, and a chance to capture the asset here for the Dark Eldar on this side of the table. Right, so charges here. Dark Eldar starting to get their teeth into the Imperial Guard, which is up and over the barricade here into the Guardsmen. Incubi smashing into the conscripts here. The jet bikes have reached the heavy weapons team, the heavy bolter team just there. Grotesques filtering through have reached the mortar team, so those monsters bursting through. Mortars always seem to be a victim in our apocalypse games. So some good combats here. Dark Eldar do fancy their chances. We're going to go on to some combats, and most importantly, the Mandrakes have made it into combat here as well. So we'll get these combats resolved. There's an opportunity here to capture 2 out of 3 of the objectives. Right, so do this combat here, trying to capture the asset. We've got to overcome this Imperial Guard squad. Plasma grenades will go first, needing freeze to hit. It's not so good here, not so good. Getting the impression that some of the combats aren't going the Dark Eldar's way. We'll see. That's better. 3 wounds there. So Phil's going to need to make 3 saves of 5+.
2 attacks, 3 for charging. And I've got
3 saves of 5+. Oh, 444. 3 guardsmen brought down. That's good for the Dark Eldar, but we've got to survive now and win the combat. Phil's going to fight back here with 8 attacks. He needs 4s. Whoa. And then he needs 4s to wound. 1 wound. Get a Ghost Plate armor save. Saved. Win the combat by 3. Leadership of 8, 7, 6, 5. Leadership 5. This could be our first capture here. It's a race to capture the first one. Leadership 5. Leadership 6. He's failed. We'll chase. So we'll chase on initiative 5. Oh, is a 1. There's a chance to escape. A 1. No. Guard squad's been slaughtered by the Scourges, and the asset has been captured. So Officer of the Fleet has fallen into the Dark Eldar's hands. Right, it's just resolving combats here. The Guard squad wiped out, the Archon taking 1 down. We lost an Incubi in response, and then the Clavex and last Incubi slaughtered 8 Guardsmen. So that squad's been wiped out. Deadly in close combat, the Incubi there. Then the Chimera's in flames. The last hull point dealt out by a haywire grenade from the Witches. The squad has disembarked just there, only to get out and discover the Incubi closing in, murdering and hacking down all in their path. then we've just seen the combat there. It was one, the Scourges destroying the guard squad and pulling back 5 inches here, dragging the officer of the fleet with them. That's one asset secured and being dragged away. Right, so combats here, it's the Mandrakes fighting to capture the Master of Ordnance here. Mandrakes will go first because James went to ground after firing. So we're going to roll up here. We've got to capture this asset here, need to win the combat and then chase them off. Right, so here it comes. Need freeze to hit to start off with. That is very, very, very good indeed. Very good. The officer's in trouble. Strength. Strength 4. Freeze to wound. Oh, some misses.
3, 4.
Imperial Guardsmen gone to ground. They're laying on the ground. The Mandrakes slaughtering them as they lay down, searching for this asset here. James can try and make some saves. Oh, triple save. 2 Guardsmen brought down. So James, in response, needs to kill 2 Mandrakes.
Get up! Get up! Bring up Mandrakes in the building!
5 attacks back. Officer's dead. 4s. Oh, 3 hits. Doubt he's going to do it now. 4s to wound. No. Okay. Make the... Whoa. So we've lost the combat by 2. Leadership 7. With no leader. Less 2 is 5. They're probably going to bust them around unless they're heroes. 6. Just about out. Chase.
Yeah, I'll chase.
Right, so Mandrake's initiative 5, James's initiative 3. Who's going to roll here?
I'm going to roll.
James is going to roll first. 4. 2.
Initiative 5. Initiative 3, aren't you?
Yeah, so equaled. What does that result? Is a kill. Captured. Master of Ordnance captured by Mandrakes. You can now consolidate D6 and drag him off 5 inches.
Hide. Did you
Right, so combat's round here. The jet bikes wiping out their target with cluster caltrops. Very good indeed. And then the mortar team slaughtered by the grotesques. And then here the guard squad overrun by the witches. And then here Incubi have been held up and brought down by the conscripts, and Lord Commissar bringing some of them down as well. That lack of grenades meant that the guard could go first, and then striking back, not much damage done at all. But the Incubi will carry on fighting there. They've held their ground, and there's nowhere near as many conscripts as there were. But Lord Commissar still standing and still fighting and doing some damage, but everywhere else there is a slaughter taking place in this sector. That is the combat's done. 2 assets captured by the Dark Eldar. They'll be happy about that. They're fulfilling their mission. We will hand over now to Imperial Guard on turn 3. They're going to need to counter this, and they may need to launch a rescue mission of some kind to try and recapture the 2 lost officers. So we're going to go on to turn 3 for Imperial Guard. Right, sort of movement for the guard here. They're just manoeuvring into position. James and Phil are both saying that they will try and shoot their lost officers rather than lose them to the Dark Eldar. They're going to try and get precision hits. We're saying here that every hit, if it's a 6, then it hits the asset there. So it's a tough task now for the Dark Eldar. If they've captured an asset, they've got to somehow protect it from the Imperial Guard as well, because this Guard force, no loyalty to each other at all. They'd rather have those officers dead than have them betray their secrets, because once the Dark Eldar do capture those officers, they will extract every bit of information through various means of torture. So it is snatch and grab this game, but the Dark Eldar have got to protect their assets as well. They've got to stop them from being killed. Right, so movement for the Imperial Guard. Command squad staying where it is. There's not really much option for it. Just pivoting with this Chimera. He's going to let it rip with the Flamer there against the Reavers. And then here the Russ is pivoting to take on the Hellions, and then holding here with the super heavy tank. James just shifting along there with the Hellhammer. And there's been more movement around the other side for the Imperial Guard. And just report here about the Ratlings. They're holding position and they're lining up to try and shoot the officer here before he's dragged away and escapes. So little Ratlings, little blighters that they are, they're going to try and shoot the asset then, if they can. And down here, a ton of vehicles turning up for the Imperial Guard. 3 Hellhounds arriving. It's a real squeeze here. 2 Russes continuing to face in that direction, and the Macarius swinging round to shoot as well. Then just tank shocking here has pushed the witches back. Right, so that's movement done for the Imperial Guard. We're going to go on to shooting now on turn 3 for the Imperial Guard. Right, so you've got the Ratlings here. They're going to fire down at the Scourge squad. 9 shots, any 6s, and the officer has been hit. So one of the Ratlings has picked out the officer here. We'll roll that one separate. Phil needs a 4+ to wound him. Just the 1 dice. 4+. Oh, he's been wounded. What kind of save does he get? 5+. We need a 5 or a 6, or the master of the or officer of the fleet is dead. Oh, he's dead. He's been brought down by a Ratling. The crafty little blighter shot the officer. Not sure if any of the other guardsmen have seen it. It's been done craftily. It's a backhand move by the guard. Just as the officer of the fleet there had his back turned to his own guard, he was shot from behind by a Ratling. Throwing up the other results here, 4 hits, no wounds at all. So just the officer picked out there, 3 points denied to both sides. The officer of the fleet lies dead just there. Right, so shooting for the Imperial Guard on turn 3, and it's been pretty devastating. Nasty firepower coming through here from the super heavy, blowing away a load of the witches and reavers. Just going to do morale actually. We've got 1 reaver left. He's all right. Witches, they're all right as well. 1 casualty on the command squad that got caught in the blast. And scattering of demolisher cannon shot went from here 8 inches and landed on the incubi. 1 incubi slain here and 2 at the back. Got morale for them to do as well. Front 1, 9, they're all right, and the rear 1, they're okay as well. But Dark Eldar have been thinned out here. It's a bit of a graveyard, this zone here, and they are lamenting the fact that their asset has been shot by one of the Ratlings. And we rolled up here as this Ratling just here, just on the corner. It was him that actually did that 6+ shot. Shooting here from the Lehman Russ is very effective. The Hellions have been blown away 1 round of shooting. Failed to kill the Scourge there with the Haywire Blaster. Auto cannon fire brought down one of the Razor Wings. It crashed and burned off table, so that's one of the aircraft gone for the Dark Eldar. Down here, Mandrake's still alive and holding on to their asset here. 1 Grotesque brought down, and a number of the Reavers destroyed as well. But they've held morale, they're still there. Still a couple of cluster caltrops surviving on them, so they've got a bit of fight left in those. Which squad was hammered by the Chimera and Punisher tank there. Okay, right, so Archon was shot at by the Chimera and he passed all of his 2+ Shadowfield saves. but no damage really done at the back here. Dark Eldar still have some support at the back, but being thinned out this turn, that's for sure. Imperial Guard firepower really doing some damage against the lightly armed vehicles and toughness-free opponent here. Shooting done. It's been a slog, this one. A lot of firepower being dished out by Imperial Guard. We're going to go on to assaults now on turn 3 for the Imperial Guard. So roll up the Incubit. This is the only combat here. There's no other charges going on for the Guard. Clavex will get 3 attacks. Clavex is dead.
Killed him, didn't I?
Right, so just 6 attacks from the Incubit then. And they will need 3s to hit. Put 1 on the Commissar, yeah. So 2 attacks on the Commissar. And that's 2 good hits. 3s to wound. 2 wounds. AP 2. Right, so 1 Guardsman killed. Refractor field saving another. 4 attacks. 3 hits. And then 3s to wound. Oh, very good. Sweeping kill there. 3 more. Conscripts killed. James will fight back. Lord Commissar can strike first. Right, Lord Commissar fighting here. Just 1 hit. No kill. And then we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 conscripts fighting back. This could be victory here. Unless the conscripts do damage with their bayonets. Oh yeah, 5s to hit. 2 wounds. Pressure roll here. Foul 1. 1 ink can be brought down. Feel no pain. Whoa, passes the feel no pain.
Leadership 10, stun.
Leadership 10. Pass the carry on thanks to the Commissar. Good, he's making them stand their ground. That marks the end of turn 3 for the Imperial Guard. We're going to go on to Dark Eldar turn 4. See if they can push ahead here. But they definitely have been thinned. 1 asset lost. 1 being held, but in amongst the middle of an Imperial Guard tank deployment zone. The other one, the Astropath, is just here. He could be captured, yeah. So they might be able to capture the 3rd asset here. Right, so movement for the Dark Eldar here. The Scourge just staying where he is, going to take pot shots there. The Super Heavy. Last of the Reavers here, just jumping up on top to go after those wretched ratlings. And then the Telos moving up 6 inches, slowly but surely. And then the Incubi squads, one's closing in on the Chimera. And then the other Incubi, the last Clavex, with the 2nd in command, move in on the command squad there. That is actually Phil himself there, the commander just at the back, so it'd be good to take him out. Which is breaking off here, 2 squads moving up, 1 going in this direction, 1 heading in this direction. Potentially could try and reach the guard up here. All these vehicles are destroyed. And round here, things looking in better shape for the Dark Eldar here. Support vehicles moving up, there's a lot of them. Ravager here, and then Raider squads at the back. Melee continues there, Witch is falling back even further. Archon moving up, And then moving through here with the Grotesques and the Archon, they have captured the Astropath, so 3 points secured, and they may well try and charge Creed in his unit. And then, so the Reavers are preparing to charge in as well. Then down here, you can hardly see it, but just inside there, the Mandrakes are preparing to charge the Guard Command Squad and drag along the Master of Ordnance at the same time. Then the Flyers, the blue Void Raven, my one, has flown off. There's only 1 hull point snapshots, but the rest of the fighters and flyers converging to try and destroy the Stormlord. It'll be satisfying to bring that thing down. 4 hull points to get. We'll see if we can do it. We're going to go on to shooting phase now for the Dark Eldar on turn 4. Yeah, one lone Scourge needs a 3+. Then needs a 2+. Does. A hull point knocked down by the cheeky Scourge just here. So 3 hull points required now. Void Raving screaming straight at it. 2 lance shots, 2 hits. Well done. 3+ to do something. Double penetrating hit. James needs to make 2 cover saves against these Void Lances. 2 cover saves, or there could be trouble. He's fouled both. He's fouled both. A roll up here to see what kind of result we get. Something nice and high. A 7 is D3. We could see a detonation take place.
Yeah, 1 hull point on D3.
D3, 5 or 6, 5 or 6, 4. That's 3. That is 3.
That is 3.
That is 3. He's done it. He's done it. No, he's done it. There's 2. 4 is 2, and 1 is 3. There's 3 left. Yes, he's done it. The Void Raven has done it. We're going to look up the result. I want to see this thing blow sky high. So we're going to roll up here to see the type of explosion. We'll let Matt roll 1 dice. 4+ is good. 2. Right, that's a devastating explosion. We'll work this one out. Alright, so that's the result there. Catastrophic damage, huge explosion. Loads of the passengers destroyed. 1 squad with 2 flamers left, the other squad with a lone guardsman will get out. But everyone else has been killed in the explosion. Passengers, no one else really hurt with the rest of the explosion there. But the ground shakes as the Stormlord erupts into a catastrophic explosion. So it's good air cover support there from the Dark Eldar. We'll continue the rest of the shooting now on turn 4. Right, shooting here. We saw the Super Heavy destroyed. Very, very impressive there. 2 hull points dealt out. That's haywire grenades being thrown by these squads. Poisoned fire coming through here from the Talos. Damage taken there on the command squad, which fouled around 11 and have busted in this direction. Which is firing their pistols up. 2 guardsmen killed in the bunker. And then no damage done from the splinter rifle shots from the Reaver. Both are flyers. The Razor Wings fired down and did no damage to the Super Heavy tank just there. We're just reporting on Ravager and Raider. Dark Lance fire has actually caused 5 hull points on the Hellhammer here. So excellent supporting fire coming in from those units there, supporting the Dark Eldar attack. So it's an interesting tactic. You can split your force in 2. You can have your initial line that moves up with your close combat units, and then behind that you can have some long-range fire power moving up and supporting. So Dark Eldar, it's cost the Dark Eldar to get in close here, but they're dishing out damage in return. It's a nice close game, this one. So it's fascinating to play, very interesting, and very exciting trying to capture these different assets. One lies dead here. One has been captured by the Grotesque, an Archon unit, and the other still slinks in the corner over there, alive. Right, it's just reporting on the shooting here. Archon with a haywire grenade causing a hull point on the Punisher, Lehman Russ just there. And then Raider fire coming through destroyed the Chimera here, and a number of the command squad being brought down by fire from the units inside, and the poisoned attacks here supporting as well. Pretty effective firepower here, not many guard left at all in this area. Okay, Reaver shooting have wounded Creed. She's been winged there by the Dark Eldar. Right, Mandrakes then fired and shot and killed 3. So it's pretty good. That's the shooting done. We're going to go on to assaults now for the Dark Eldar on turn 4. Right, okay, so charges here. The jet bikes are in. Archon and Grotesques are all piling in. You've got Kel there, Creed, the Ogrins, and Yarrick all clustered together. It's a real fight here in the bunker. A real slaughter potentially could take place. The Mandrakes have made it into combat. You're just wrong to see if they've made it. James has done Overwatch for them on a 9. Yeah, less 2 is 7. They're in as well. So multiple combats to resolve. The Archon's made it into combat as well. So Dark Eldar, yeah, they're not doing too bad actually. Imperial Guard taking casualties. We're going to resolve our combats now. We'll see what kind of results we get. Then down here, the Witches and Archon and Inkby Clavex have all reached the Chimera. That should be destroyed. Okay, then the Witches hit, they failed to charge. And then the jet bike has made into contact with the Ratlings. So we'll get these combats resolved. Dark Eldar got a chance here to cause some damage on this turn. Right, so combat results here. The Reavers destroyed the Ratlings in sweet revenge. They're gone, killing 5 of them and then chasing the rest down. And then down here, easily placed a Haywire Grenade to finish the Chimera off, and the command squad has just disembarked there. So not too many guard around, vehicles burning. But same for the Dark Eldar, damage done on both sides, but nice, even contest in a way in this game. Right, and then around here, melee continues. More conscripts brought down. Wound on the Lord Commissar, but the melee continues on there. That stubborn roll helping out really well. It's a good combination taking that stubborn capability. It means that those conscripts have hung around. They should have long since been overrun, but thanks to the heroics there from the Lord Commissar, they have held the front line despite the Dark Eldar raid long since passing them by. So they've done very well to hold the front line. It's a hero's result there for them. Very well done indeed. Right, so combat results is hard to see inside, but there's been murder taking place. The Mandrakes have hacked another Imperial Guard unit and are holding on to their assets. That's good work from them. Nasty business going on in there. They're clinging on to their asset. And then up here, the damage dealt out. What kind of damage are we looking at here? Where's Kel?
Kel's been killed.
Kel's been slain. Still 1 wound on Creed.
1 wound on Creed.
And Yarrick's taken a wound, no?
Yarrick has taken a wound.
Yarrick's taken a wound.
Creed's life because it was instant death.
Right, okay, there's carnage taking place in the bunker. Looks like one of the Reavers killed, but that melee continues. No one's running. They're still fighting it out. Can you imagine the screaming and fighting going on there? And then 1 Haywire Grenade placed and destroying the tank. That's combat's done. Casualties and damage being dealt out on the Imperial Guard, no doubt. We'll see what they can do in that response. Imperial Guard turn 4 coming up. Imperial Guard just moving here. More tanks turning up, flooding onto the table. Certainly a strong armoured presence in this game for the Imperial Guard. Right, so movement done. This squad's moving off to try and take out the last of the Scourges there, just the lone Scourge. Holding ground here with the command squads. Holding ground here on top of the bunker. The Demolisher section's turned up here to Lehman Russ's. Regular Lehman Russ is just moving up further up the road here. All crammed on, not really many targets to see. Then coming round, melee continues there with the Inkby and conscripts. And then all silence around here, not much going on. 1 guard leader there from the command squad just escaping up through the bunker, trying to sneak away. Doesn't want to be noticed by the carnage that's going on inside here. Melee continues. And then the Hellhound formation moving up in this direction, and the other 2 Punisher or Lehman Russes. Macarius Vanquisher backing off. Nice model that. It's been stuck at the back here all game. 1 Chimera, and then well, it doesn't. Is anyone moving in? No. James is going to go to the tactic of trying to destroy the asset by firing at it as well. Desperate times for the Imperial Guard. They are executing their officers so they don't fall into Dark Eldar hands. Then the Super Heavy just squaring up to fire again at the soft Dark Eldar vehicles. We're going to go into shooting phase now for the Imperial Guard on turn 4. Right, so shooting here for the Imperial Guard. The Scourge is gone. Imperial Guard firepower coming down from that squad there. Killed him. 5 saves to make. Almost survived. Didn't. Snap firing up with all these tanks here. Not really any other target. No damage done on the flyer. The Reaver killed by this squad here. And then 1 Witch killed from this squad, and then the flaming shot coming through also killed the Clavex there. So all the Incubi in this area are gone, sadly. No other damage coming in. It's all very empty around here. Just one Talos engine moving up and coming through, but other than that, very empty indeed. The Imperial Guard pushed back here, just burning wrecks. This is it, command squads here. It's the furthest advance for the Imperial Guard in this sector. Pushed right back by what's left of the Dark Eldar, not too much. Right, firing around this side here, Raider destroyed. That was the Flamer on the Hellhound there. Another Dark Eldar vehicle is blown away. And it looks like here, James Ross rolling up a load of conscripts slaughtered by the ensuing explosion as well. So they've been killed. There's actually 2 conscripts left. Lord Commissar on 2 wounds as well. So Incubi hopefully will overcome and destroy them, and that means there'll be no guard in this sector. Last one is just a single guardsman running away, and that is pretty much it. So Dark Eldar, yeah, they have pushed in, but it's cost them a lot. This raid has been costly. We're wondering, have they got enough points for victory? They're holding on to 2 assets at the moment. Desperate stuff. Hellhammer firing through, missed and scattered away. Just 1 hull point in their weapon destroyed on the Venom. Alright, then Exterminator Limros firing has brought down the Void Raven. It's crashed and burned just there. Right, Lads Cannon team firing on top at the Ravager. 2 penetrating hits, but Matt made a jinx save, but a weapon destroyed. The front lance weapon has been destroyed, and a hull point dealt out on the Ravager there. So, long range firepower from both sides engaging each other. We reckon Imperial Guard have the advantage. If these tanks can swing around and come to bear, it's just the confines of the city limiting them here. If this was open ground, you can imagine the kind of firepower they could bring to bear on this Dark Eldar supporting line. Damage coming through. We reckon with these Imperial Guard tanks, the Dark Eldar would have to make a hasty retreat. They wouldn't last too long in a head-to-head fight. They're holding their own at the moment, but we reckon Imperial Guard firepower would overwhelm them. The Dark Eldar units on foot wouldn't just be strong enough to take on the Imperial armour. They've been thinned down that much. James just firing his weapons like crazy, trying to get rid of the last Mandrake in the corner there. Stealth and Shrouded in Ruins. He's on a 2+ cover saves. James unloading everything he has. But the lone Mandrake hangs on to the Master of Ordnance. That's pretty much the shooting done. Firing down here, multiple units and tanks. 1 Mandrake left. Morale's been done for the Mandrake.
Yeah, well, I have in a minute.
Morale for Mandrake. Oh, morale here. Just going to let Matt roll up.
That's fine.
He's alright, okay. Just going to go on to assault phase now for the Imperial Guard on turn 4. So, combat results here. The melee continues, but Creed has fallen, been smashed to pieces by these grotesques here. Excellent little unit to have. How many wounds is Yarrick taken?
He's on his last wound.
He's on his last wound, but he may get back up. But he's fighting on top of the... Is it just Yarrick left?
Just Yarrick left.
So Yarrick on his own, fighting at the top of the bunker. No one else around. Everyone else has been killed. Ogren's long since brought down. And then here, an Incubi brought down by the Lord Commissar's Power Sword, but 1 conscript slain. So that melee continues there as well. That's assault's finished. We are now going to go on to Dark Eldar, turn 5. Could be the last turn of the game. Right, so moving for the Dark Eldar, just shifting up here, the 2 Witch squads, going to try and take on the Guard unit inside the firebase here. 2 Archons moving down, each one are going to try and charge the command squad. There, Talos moving up, has reached the line finally at this stage. My Void Raven's returned and is headed towards the Super Heavy. Ravagers and Raiders converging on the Super Heavy as well. 1 Razor Wing here, 1 Razor Wing there. Then dragging the asset around behind the building here. It's just got to hunker down and survive. And then the melee just continuing here. Then the Reaver just moving down here to try and join the combat there. That's pretty much it. Movement done. Going to go on shooting phase now for the Dark Eldar on turn 5. Right, shooting for the Dark Eldar here. Ravager fire from here, Raider fire from there, and from there. And the Void Raven fire have failed to do any damage against the super heavy. Tragic outcome there. Looking forward to trying to destroy that one. It survives. And then down here, pistol fire from the Witches. One Guardsman brought down. And then supporting fire here from the Telos. And pistol fire has brought down some of the Guardsmen here. This squad, the leader taking a wound, Flamer and Vox brought down, and then here no damage done. Right, it's just movement there, just shifting along a few inches, just hiding right in the very corner. That's pretty much it. Reported the firepower there not having any effect on the super heavy, so we're going to go into assaults now for the Dark Eldar on turn 5. Right, assaults for the Dark Eldar. Witches have made it in, surviving the Overwatch fire, and then both Archons have made it in, surviving the Overwatch firepower coming through. It's a good result there for them. Then round the other side here, the jet bikes made it into contact, and the Archon as well, to try and finish off the Lord Commissar. And then just up here, the melee continues up on top of the bunker, trying to slay Commissar Yarrick. So we get these combats resolved now towards the end of this turn. Alright, so combat results here. The guard squad on top has been wiped out by the last 2 witches there. And then second in command wiped out his squad, moving up a few inches there as well. Down here, the Archon did win, but +1 combat resolution meant that was a drawn melee, almost wiped them out. But the banner meant that they stood. The army commander has been held up just there, but Dark Eldar wiping out the last of the infantry. Just this squad left on this side of the table. It has been a slaughter, but it's been costly for the Dark Eldar to do it. On this side of the table, Lord Commissar survives miraculously and killed the Incubi in return. So epic fight there that is continuing on. And then up here, Yarrick has been slain.
On the roll of 5. And that does it in the next turn.
Right, they've rolled already. Yarrick was slain. James got the 5+. Yarrick will return to the fight. Right, so that marks the end of the turn. We have reached the end of the day here. It's been an epic slog and an epic fight. Very, very enjoyable. Very strong theme and scenario here, and that's given created a lot of interest in this game. The Dark Eldar raid has smashed into the Imperial Guard, was blunted especially on turn 2. It was a worry, especially on this left-hand flank. Dark Eldar vehicles been smashed to pieces, but the raid, they've disembarked or have moved ahead, pushed through into the Imperial compound, creating havoc, slaughtering as they've gone. Imperial Guard standing well, fighting hard, and have given a good account of themselves in this game, there's no doubt about that. We're going to calculate victory points now. We'll see who has triumphed. Right, so we are playing First Blood, and that went to the Imperial Guard, so 1 point for that. As for assets, they shot one, and then yeah, and then one is being held by the grotesque unit. They've fighting in combat and holding onto the asset there, and one being held just down here. If we're wondering if it could have been held if the game had continued, we're not sure. We're going to have to leave it at this stage. Dark Eldar, a score, 3 points here. The Lone Mandrake holding on to the Master of Ordnance there. And then up here, the Astropath being held by the Grotesques. That makes 6 points. I have to say that the Dark Eldar raid has been a success, but leaving it at this point, we have to leave it to the imagination. Would they have been able to drag those 2 characters away to be interrogated? Maybe we'll never know. We'll have to leave it at this point. Very, very enjoyable game. A good match-up. Look forward to perhaps a rematch one day. You never know. But that's 5,000 points of Dark Eldar in an epic raid on the Imperial Guard line. Great game, very enjoyable. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time. just talking about unit of the game, Mandrakes here, Matt is saying, and then for the Imperial Guard, James is saying it's the Hellhammer, and also Lord Commissar did very well indeed. But that's units of the game for both sides in this epic clash.